Coming up today on This Is True Really News, history facts.
In a world where history... Wait a minute, are these real history facts? Or
this is actually a real history fact. This is a real, true French history fact. So, we're factoring in the history of France. Factually. If you like this kind of baloney, please like, subscribe.
And honestly, why would you? Actually, if you like this kind of baloney, find your doctor. Show them an episode and say, I enjoy this, and go from there.
And demand to be sedated. I want to be sedated. Anyway, please like, subscribe, and follow This Is True Really News. Leave comments where you find us. Or if there's something longer or you would like to send a story to us you think we should cover, send it to TITR@netradio.network.
This is True Really News with Scott Combs and Tony Varcanis. All the news you're about to hear is true.
Really?
As far as you know.
Unless your last name is Tucker and your first name is Ronnie.
No, he can send it. I get it.
Because Scott dislikes you personally.
I can't. I love all Scots people. He's a Scotsman.
I know the Scotsmen I've met talk about you, but not in glowing terms.
That's because they're drunken buffoons.
Bingo. United Press International reported last September, 1 year ago, we're celebrating the happened a year ago as dog walkers anniversary. There we go. As dog walkers passed the Seascape Cafe in Chapel St. Leonard's. Is it Chapel Saint? Why do they say Saint for Saint?
Because they don't pronounce the T's.
Oh. Why do they have them then?
Because they're like French.
Kind of like in England?
Well, that's a French word.
Nice cover. As dog walkers passed the Seascape Cafe in Chapel St. Leonard's, England, they were startled to see what they thought was a ritual mass murder inside. As you may suspect, police were called to the scene, but it turns out the people that they saw lying on their backs were just taking part in a yoga meditation exercise. Which is why you should always do what my wife does when she suspects I'm dead. Poke me with a hockey stick.
Oh, we can. New business. Collapsible hockey sticks for people who have to poke people. We could make $100. Well, 58 at least.
We'll get on that.
Yeah.
The class's teacher, Millie Laws, said class members had dispersed before officers arrived. But honest to God, officer, they were all laying there, dead. She assured the community on her Facebook page that we are not a part of any mad cult or crazy club.
Well, they do yoga.
We are not a part of any mad cult. They were all participating in a deep, beautiful relaxation, and it could have never run through any of our minds that could it be taken this way.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought personally.
No, if I don't see the blood, I ain't going.
Exactly. I'm thinking they're okay.
But then my next thought, because I've watched, so many Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly Stallone movies, I'm thinking, some people do use poison.
There is that.
I'd have called the cops.
From historyfacts.com.
There's Jonestown to remember.
Lord, and the jokes.
Nope. Can't drink grape Kool-Aid to this day.
In 1907, one of the more unusual strikes in France's storied strike history unfolded. Better wages and working conditions were at stake, as is often the case, but this strike was also about something unexpected. The right to grow a mustache.
Huh?
Mustaches were at their peak in the early 20th century Europe, were even obligatory for policemen. An attempt to convey a military-like masculinity and authority.
Is that where we get the, beat it, it's the fuzz?
Maybe. Respect my authority. Restaurant servers, however, were forced to be clean-shaven, a reminder of their lower class status. Behind closed doors, trade unions began trade unionizing, organizing a strike for workers' rights to autonomy over their own upper lip. They were also fighting for 1 day off a week and their fair share of tips, which were often the only source of pay for servers. I wouldn't be thinking about the mustache at all.
That would be so far down the list.
Surveys,
I suppose, though, for some of the ladies, it was like, no, I want the mustache.
I need it. Surveys about dates and times were sent to the various unions, and after results were compiled, strike instructions were sent to union members. On April 17th, 1907, at 6:30 p.m. sharp, waiters walked off the job. Although the number of servers who took to the streets in protest is unclear, the New York Times estimated it was about 500 by late April.
So it was 27.
Yeah. While the strike wasn't without its critics, the wait staff found solidarity in high places, including in Parliament. Socialist deputy, and it had to be, and Tita Boyer, who even before the strike had proposed a bill that would make mustache bans illegal. Mustache, told the New York Times the mustache rule was grotesque and humiliating. She wanted one too. Boyer's bill never actually passed, but the strike resolved quickly.
And she did grow her own mustache.
Yeah, she did. After 16 days, the waiters returned to work. They did not get their desired 1 day off per week, but a fairer pay structure was in place, as were their mustaches. So this, who is the lady comedian? Oh, she's funny sometimes. Sarah Silverman.
She's only funny once in a while.
Yeah, but this one was actually kind of fun. Her friend, she says, I got to go on vacation. We're going to South America. And her friend says, ooh, you need to get waxed up. She goes, okay, you got somebody? Yeah, I got someone great. So go see my friend, tell him I sent you. And Sarah walks in. Before I even had a chance to do anything, she looks at me and goes, so we here for the mustache? I thought that was funny.
Did Sarah?
Well, it was a little deflating.
Expect that.
The audience got a kick out of it.
Could I get in the door first?
Could I actually?
Her best work was still on Monk.
You're probably right.
Yeah. Reza Baluchi can't stop getting in trouble with the U.S. Coast Guard, according to an NPR report, so we know it must be true. What?
No, I'll never forget when the local public radio station was having a panel with all the other news people in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
And their morning news host said, oh, I think we're pretty fair and balanced. And all the other news anchors cracked up laughing. You're not even self-aware enough to know that you're not.
You know, it's always embarrassing when you have to look. Oh, wait, he wasn't kidding, guys.
And looked around kind of, what do you mean?
So we're not? What? You're just haters. Wait, that was probably for that.
Yeah, that came later.
Reza Baluchi just can't stop getting in trouble with the U.S. Coast Guard. Iranian-born man from Florida was arrested last August after officers tried for 3 days to convince him to abandon his plan of running across the Atlantic Ocean in a hamster wheel fitted with buoys.
Buoys this time?
Yep.
Okay.
As opposed to GUIs?
No, there was the one guy who did it, I think, with soda bottles.
Oh, okay.
And, you know. And he kept getting beached somewhere in the Atlantic.
He wanted to run across the Atlantic hamster wheel buoys, his final destination being London because they love you there. 4,000 miles from his starting point. Well, then at least you've got help because I think you can walk on the Thames without any floating assistance. It's like the Seine.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go swimming in that.
Oh, God, no.
It's safe.
Only if I'm an Olympic athlete. Or better,
and they all got sick.
Olympic athlete. Oh, morons on my team.
Stupid.
Strother Martin got all the best lines, by the way.
Really?
In the movies with Paul Newman.
Oh,
Cool Hand Luke.
Yep.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
Morons.
And then,
I got morons on my team.
They're not going to rob us going down the hill. We got no money going down the hill.
The hill.
They're going to rob us coming up after we get the money.
Oh, yeah.
So and the worst part is he's talking about Butch and Sundance. Anyway, he wanted to make a 4,000-mile trip using buoys and hamster wheel.
Nice.
So he tried similar stunts in 2014, 16, and 21. We don't know what was going on in the years, but between there, we expect intensive psychiatric care, all of which resulted in the United States Coast Guard intervention. Not the psychiatric care, all the other misadventures.
We think he was at Arkham.
In a short documentary made about Baluchi by Vice, the TV thing.
Yeah.
Notable TV thing. They can find nothing. He explained his motivation, saying, if you drive a boat, nobody cares. Bubble, nobody did before. Make me crazy. They stop me every time. They save my life. I don't know, need it. Save my life. I think roughly translated.
Thank you.
That would mean I don't need them to save my life.
I'm guessing.
It's kind of like when you talk, if you ever talk to a person from the, was it the 101st? Who was it? Who was it Patton saved at Bastogne?
Oh, it was the Screaming Eagles.
The Screaming Eagles, the 101st.
Yeah.
You know what this, by the way, the eagle that's on that patch?
Mm-hmm.
The eagle that was the muse?
Mm-hmm.
Honest Abe.
Really?
A World War I mascot. Yeah.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
I just learned that last week. Where are we now? Don't need
Where Dick Winters giving his troops orders to tell Patton to shove off.
And he didn't. But all of his men said, we didn't need saving. Or in slightly more colorful language.
Sorry about that, sir. Sorry.
Major Winters, or Captain Winters, did I do anything wrong?
No.
After the 2016 incident, by the way, the Coast Guard sank his bubble. So he redesigned and built a new one.
Oh.
That tyrants. In faces of obstruction of boarding and violation of a captain and a port order, he's going to get a fine, maybe more mandatory therapy.
Maybe he ought to prove he can do long distances in it. Start with the Great Salt Lake and work his way up to actual water.
See, first I start with like Lake George and St. Cloud. It's kind of small.
And you can just kind of skitter
then you
across.
Then you go up to Mille Lacs.
Oh, there you go.
That's
nice
bigger.
Shallow lake.
And bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you go up to Superior.
Yeah.
And that'll be the end of it because you'll be lost there somewhere.
Absolutely.
I've heard about the Edmund Fitzgerald.
And they'll write a song about your bubble.
No, they won't. Gordon Lightfoot died.
Justin Thompson was a 29-year-old on the run from the law.
Oh, the legend lives on of the
Justin Thompson, the 29-year-old.
On the run from the law.
He was in Scranton.
This is why we're not lyricists.
Scranton, Pennsylvania. There was a warrant out for his arrest for aggravated assault and harassment charges.
Isn't Dunder Mifflin there or something?
Are they?
Dunderhead, Mifflin, Dunder. Aren't they?
I don't know. Never watched the show. So
don't say that around my grandkids.
I know.
One of them, and I can't remember which one, will kill you.
When officers showed up to search his 26-year-old girlfriend's house, Thompson hid in a crawl space.
That's manly.
Up into the crawl space. Unfortunately.
Up in the crawl space, reindeer paws.
The crawl space couldn't support his weight.
There's a problem here.
Thompson crashed through the ceiling, landing in the kitchen.
There's the problem.
Right in front of the cops.
Well, that's nice. Kind of delivery.
A quick first-person story. A man in our little town was known to pretty much everyone. Not only was he one of the town's most notorious drunks, he wore these really thick glasses that were always just filthy. Imagine a man with huge, dusty, smeared Coke bottle glasses. One day, running short of cash, he got the brilliant idea to rob a bank.
Uh-oh.
Threw a ski mask over his face. Put his glasses on over the mask. And handed the teller a note. Teller said, "Robbie, you don't want to do this." He said, "Yes, I do, and you don't know my name." She said, "Yes, I do know your name. You come in here every month to cash your check. I totally recognize you." Frustrated and empty-handed, Robbie left the bank and walked home, where he was arrested about 10 minutes later. And finally,
You know, the police just can't take a joke.
Before ATMs,
One little attempted bank robbery.
and you're marked for life.
Marked for life, man. They just right there.
Before ATMs, banks were crowded at lunchtimes, and I remember this because people went in to cash their checks.
Yep.
Bank robber waited in line patiently, and when he got to the teller, he announced just a little too loudly, "This is a stick-up."
See, you got to be careful with your volume.
The next person in line, right behind him, said, "And this is an arrest." The genius had
that would be a short movie.
Genius had chosen the bank next to the federal building on payday. There were something like 17 FBI agents in the bank at the time to deposit or cash paychecks.
And it's not Britain. FBI agents can, in fact, carry weapons.
Yes.
So knock yourself out, dude.
And the dumbassery continues.
Wow, we truly are
Horrible.
blindingly stupid species. Blindingly
Stupid
species.
This is true, really news. Send email to TITR@netradio.network.